There, music lovers. This is John of HornSmasher.com. And if you are new to clarinet playing, I'm here to help you get off to a great start with some basic information regarding the care of your instrument. We're going to do this in 3 easy steps: the assembly, disassembly, and daily maintenance you should be doing on your instrument. Along the way, I'll give you some helpful tips and show you how to avoid some common mistakes. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Let's open the case and begin with the names of the different parts. The mouthpiece is the part that you blow into. It has a protective cap that's used in storage and a ligature to hold the reed. The mouthpiece connects into the barrel, which is used for tuning. Next, we have the upper joint, the lower joint, and lastly, the bell. The instrument should be assembled the same way every time. A set routine ensures a consistent result. We begin by inserting the mouthpiece into the barrel joint. Clarinets have what are called cork joints to connect the pieces together. We insert the mouthpiece into the barrel and push it together with a twisting motion. If any of the cork joints are hard to assemble, we lubricate them using a cork grease that we smear around the cork, distribute with our finger, and then push the clarinet joint back together. This makes the assembly easier. Next, we need to install the reed on the mouthpiece. The reed is the source of the sound on the clarinet. The reed is held on the mouthpiece with a ligature. Ligature is just a fancy word for a clamp that holds the reed tight to the mouthpiece. Now, we remove the reed from the reed holder and place it flat side down on what is called the reed table. Then we hold the reed with our thumb while we slide the ligature on, being careful not to chip the reed with the edge of the ligature. Next, we need to loosen the screws on the ligature so the ligature will draw back past the index mark on the mouthpiece. Many first-time players get confused about how to line up the reed on the mouthpiece. It's really quite simple. The end of the reed should line up with the end of the mouthpiece. It should not extend past the tip of the mouthpiece or be pulled back below the end of the mouthpiece. The last step in the reed and mouthpiece assembly is to tighten the ligature screws. They should be tightened to equal tension and only tightened finger tight. Now we set the mouthpiece and barrel aside and move on to the assembly of the upper and lower joints. The upper joint is usually the part that has the brand of the instrument stamped on it. Also, the upper joint has what is called a bridge key. This part can be broken during the assembly of the clarinet if it is not done correctly. The bridge key must be held down during the assembly of the 2 joints. We do this by wrapping our hand around the upper joint and holding the bridge key down with our thumb. With the bridge key held down, we can now safely assemble the lower joint to the upper. We hold the lower joint near the bottom so our fingers are not covering any keys. Then, we line the 2 parts up together and push it together with a twisting motion. We finish by lining up the upper bridge key tab over the lower bridge key tab by holding it down and twisting it until they line up with each other, and then we release the key. Now, we're through with the toughest part of the assembly. We finish by mounting the bell unit on with a twisting motion. We set the clarinet down. We pick up our mouthpiece and barrel assembly, place it on with a twisting motion, and we line up the reed with the thumb rest on the back of the clarinet. That should do it. When you have finished playing, your first step is to loosen the ligature screws and remove the reed and ligature. Next, we pick up our reed holder and return the reed to the plastic case, being careful to line it up straight because it's easy to chip the reed. Now we replace the reed holder back in the case, and we reverse the assembly process with the same twisting motion. When you blow into your clarinet, you're creating a very humid atmosphere, both inside and outside the instrument. This moisture contains sugars and acids that will cause bacteria to grow if not cleaned out before the instrument is put away in the case. For this cleaning, we use our official hornsmasher.com cleaning cloth. And we do this by taking the weighted end and dropping it through all 5 pieces of the clarinet, pulling the swab all the way through. Our next step is to wipe our fingerprints off the instrument before we put it away in the case. For this, we use our official hornsmasher.com cleaning cloth to wipe down the instrument. We begin by wiping down the large areas of the instrument only. Our next step is to wipe down the tops of the keys only. We do not want to wipe down the sides of the keys because this will damage the pads. And we do not want to try and clean underneath the keys because this will damage the springs. When putting the clarinet away, we place the protective cap back on the mouthpiece. Next, we place all of the pieces back into the case. The case has specific areas for each piece to fit into. The last step is to put away our cleaning cloth, our swab, and close the case. Well, music lovers, that about wraps it up. This is Horn Smasher John, reminding you that following this daily routine will help you have many years of problem-free service and keep your instrument sounding great. All of the materials used in this video are contained in my official hornsmasher.com clarinet care kit, available for purchase on this website. See ya!